So I cleaned it out a little bit, and I said I got to put tires on it. You could separate the tread off the tires, or these Indonesian junk tires. I said I need tires. I have tires, but put 4 tires on and check the brakes.
That's what I had to buy for my CJ, is the Indonesian ones, because U.S. manufacturers aren't making tires anymore.
Well, these are old. These are 10-year-old tires, and they're dry.
Well, the Jeep, these here, I changed when I bought the car in 95.
Yep. You can still buy the little 13s, but that's it.
You know, the Jeep took 715s, almost the same size as a Volkswagen tire.
Yep.
And you can't find those suckers.
You can't find 16.5s either.
Yeah?
Let's go down the aisle here. 63 Monza convertible. Boy, a whole row of Monza convertibles. 63, 62, 63, 64, 64, 64. Wow. Then we've got another 64. A beautiful crimson, metallic with a fawn interior. Another Spider too. 64 Spider convertible. Genuine wire wheels. Kelsey Hayes. Turbocharged. 12-plate oil cooler with the side plate. Keeps the air from being forced out of the side of the cooler and recycled back into the engine. Magnesium fan. Pressure retard on the distributor. Vacuum advance was optional. Dale Manufacturing made some, but this one has a pressure retard from the factory, and you can tell because it has a little bulge there, so the hose shouldn't pop off. So when you make boost, it retards the timing. And Dale Manufacturing made a few vacuum advance for better fuel mileage, pressure retards. I have one on my Spider, and I do have the proper hose clamp that grips that little rubber hose. Hard top style battery. Recirculating fuel filter. Only fits the Corvair. Expensive. Regulators turn slightly with a little piece of steel here. This one's got a clip. Normally that bolt just went right through the sheet metal. With this little square bracket to turn the regulator slightly so you can access the air cleaner cover. Late 62, 63, and 64. Another 64. More original than mine. Mine is modified. Now this one doesn't have the fan guard cover. Might be a 62 generator. Some convertibles have their tops down, and some people like to ride with the top up, not to get their hair all messed up. 64 wood wheel, custom shift knob, AM with an FM converter. That little red light is for right there. Emergency brake warning lamp, but this doesn't have the 4-way flasher that was also optional. Steel dash, no padded dash. This one has a padded dash cover. 64, 64. Valve cover race participant. Chrome wipers. Last year for those was 65. 66, 67 went to the etched wipers, not to have a reflection in your eye. Genuine wire wheels. Check your spokes.
You seem to know Corvairs pretty well.
Well, I'm an expert till I get to these shows, then I become a dummy. Because the real experts start telling me stuff that I think I know everything about.
Did you put the YouTube thing up last year?
Oh yeah, every year.
Yeah, I saw we watched that.
Now this one doesn't have the nut built in like the fellow's done next door, because it threads right through there. Rubber mounted. This is proper. This is proper. That bolt for the little plate. They turned the regulator when the Spider came out in early '62. With the regulator mounted in the stock position, you couldn't get the cover off of the air cleaner. So GM came up with a solution, a little square piece of steel, a stamped piece of steel, to tilt the regulator sideways. I just mentioned that this fellow over here has put a little captive nut spring clip because the hole is stripped in his plate, so that is not original. But he has the original bolts, and you don't.
Oh, his has the fan. I heard you mention
that fan cover, and I'm not sure about that, but there's a little cover here, a little dish to protect the blade from the fan blade. That might have been a 63 or 64, but not 62. Now I think yours should have it, I think. I'm just guessing that GM upgraded, and this might be a 62 fan.
Uh-huh.
But I will wait for the people to watch my video and and address the situation. But see, these clamps, they should be spring clamps, not those worm type.
Oh, okay, yep.
Some type of spring clamp, maybe the long spring ones or the fat spring ones. And also, this should be a pressure retard to retard the timing. And you can tell because it has a bump and it makes the hose get a little lump in it.
Yeah.
And you don't have the correct one. This is a vacuum advance. That's not what you want for a turbo, because a turbo makes so much pressure and you're advancing the timing. So the correct one, which are expensive, they only fit Corvair turbos. The correct one has a little dimple on the steel nipple, and it bumps the hose.
Okay.
So there's a proper clamp for that, a genuine clamp that only fits that. Well, it fits other things, but it's only found there. So this is missing the clamp, and it has the proper pressure retard.
Okay.
So under pressure, it retards the timing, not to get spark knock.
Okay.
So it's
I
important.
don't get spark knock, but
You're not making any boost then.
yeah.
Because if you're making boost, you'd have spark knock. And at light throttle, the vacuum advance pulls the timing forward for better fuel mileage. When you get into it, you lose vacuum. It's a little complicated. But GM put on this pressure retard, so it looks like a vacuum advance, but it's actually a pressure retard. You have a vacuum advance. You may have the wrong distributor, wrong thing. Now you have a number, let's read this number 250, which sounds familiar, but it's probably not a turbo piece. And this one, the number on the arm is, it's got a little cover on it. Can't read the number. Something with a 4. And Dale Manufacturing, who no longer makes any Corvair parts, makes violins now and harmonic balancers, he offered a vacuum advanced pressure retard combination. It went both ways. It advanced for fuel mileage and retarded when you're into the boost, so you don't get ping. And I've got one. They were $250 for that little can. And I bought one. Or 150 is a lot of money. I bought one. So you should look into that.
I will.
Yeah, and this hose deteriorating a bit.
Yeah, I just was sitting here noticing that it's starting to pucker.
Yeah, nothing gets better with age. And there's the correct clamps you could put on the oil return hose. Just little details. We're nitpicking here. But then, that's what we are. We're Corvair nuts. I'm going to move on to the next. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that's great. Thank you.
At least you've got a Corvair here. I drove here in a Jap scrap, so who am I to talk? Now we've got another Desert Pack air cleaner on a 64 fan. They also had a bigger bearing on the fan on the 64s. This has got a very beautiful, custom-made 63 interior. Beautifully sewn, straight as an arrow. Whoever made this interior was certainly a perfectionist, top-quality upholsterer. Though it is a 63 pattern. Maybe the fellow had a 63 car, or he liked the 63 pattern better than a 64. Whatever the case, beautiful metallic blue. I wish I knew what the color was called on this. Beautiful metallic blue. 64. Boy, all the 64s here today. You've got the camber compensator rear suspension.
All right, so all you people.
110 horsepower. The bigger motor, bigger transmission with a lower first gear. See the camber compensator spring that runs along underneath the differential? They put in lighter duty coil springs, and that kept the rear wheels from tucking under. Keep Ralph Nader happy.
Over the course, the rules.
Remember, you're enjoying the shade. You got to move now.
1962 Monza coupe, pillared coupe. Beautiful 62 interior with those buttons that are tied back into the frame. It's a 4-speed, got a nice checkerboard glove box, Mylar door panels. Beautiful 62 coupe.
Yeah.
Is this color Roman red?
Yep. Roman red. Yes.
Roman red. Now this
Paint, too.
this 62 has that cover over the generator fan, the top hat or the hat dish. Original paint. You can even see the stretch marks in the steel where they stamped that rear pan.
That's where you close the hood on him, so you're scratching to get out.
Finger marks. Original paint. 62. Another 64. Blue dots. Bumper guards. Some people love them, some people don't. 1964. A lot of one-year-only features. 64 interior with the so-called racing stripe seats. Power glide on the dash. Same color blue on this 64 as that 64. Another 64. It's an old toolbox. This looks like an SK tool set. Let's take a peek inside. Yep. SK Tools, Chicago, Illinois.